What is up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are checking out the Cornerstone Music Gear Colosseum pedal. Now it is called the Colosseum, but it's also known as the Community pedal. The reason it's called that is basically Emilio let me know that his community, his followers of Cornerstone Music, basically voted on this pedal. He basically asked them, hey, when I build something else, what would you like it to be? What effects would you like it to be? All the way down to what color would you like it to be? Because it sounds like he really just wanted to kind of take the focus off just building pedals and bring the focus more towards the community. It's like, what would you guys like me to build? What would you use? And thus the Colosseum was born. Now, what they voted on is, because for me, I looked at it and I went, well, this has been done. But I mean, he has done some tweaks on this, but it's cool because, like I said, it's a community voted thing. This is what they wanted. So it is an overdrive pedal. It's a dual overdrive. One side of it is basically a blues breaker circuit, and the other side of it is a clon style circuit. Now, these are interpretations of the circuit. So I know Emilio had original clons that he used and listened to, and same thing on the blues breaker side. On the blues breaker side, I can tell that's been tweaked because if you look at it, you've got tone, gain, and volume. That's what you would typically see. But there's this clean blend that we'll get into in the demo that really does make a difference. It sounds great. If you think about in my opinion, the pedal that kind of put Cornerstone on the map was the Gladio pedal. And it had this kind of clean blend thing that sounded really great. And it looks like he's incorporated that into this blues breaker circuit. So that's the blues breaker side. We'll get into how it sounds. On the other side is the clon style circuit. Very typical of a clon. What you would see is tone, gain, and volume. But you also have this mini potentiometer that allows you to choose between what some would consider, to be the magical clipping, germanium, all the way over to SI or silicon clipping. So you can have all the way one way of clipping or all the way the other. Or what I really like, instead of this being a switch, you can kind of morph or blend the two together as you roll the clipping control or potentiometer to the right and left. We'll definitely get into how that sounds. I think it's a really cool feature, especially within a clon style circuit. This switch in the center allows you to choose which direction you want this pedal to go. So do you want the BB circuit into the K circuit or the K circuit into the BB circuit? We'll get into how that sounds. A very cool feature. There's also 4 jacks on this. So you have your typical in and out for the pedal, but you also have basically an insert. So you could put anything in there. You could put a delay in there or a reverb or something that you want after or before the other effect, but you can also put other overdrives in there. So in this case, I will in the demo put out another overdrive that is built by Cornerstone, so you can kind of check out, basically what would happen if you had 4 different types of overdrives in basically one essentially circuit, because you've got it looped inside the Colosseum. It's a really cool feature. Of course, there's your 9-volt DC in, soft touch switches, which I always appreciate. So let's check out the Cornerstone Music Gear Colosseum. Okay, let's get into some sounds. Here's just the guitar into the amp. Got it dialed pretty clean. We'll have the Colosseum do all the work. Okay, so just messing around, going back and forth between the two channels. I will tune while I talk. So it definitely has a ton of versatility between those two channels. The Bluesbreaker channel, I tend to prefer it, and I'll show you. I tend to prefer it with the that clean rolled in. Here, check it out. We'll start on that side. I'll just turn some knobs while I talk. That sounds pretty open. Now, if I shut the clean off, it's not quite as open. You can turn the volume up. And to me, there's a little bit more kind of perceived saturation, maybe. Especially with the gain all the way up. Backs off really good. But when you start rolling that clean in, I don't perceive, at least to my ears, I don't hear like a bunch of, oh, there's a bunch of clean bleed now. But what I do hear is there's definitely more low end that comes in. It feels a little bit less saturated. There's a little bit less kind of give there or sag. But I kind of prefer it that way. But I mean, it's to each his own. That's something that you don't obviously see in a Bluesbreaker circuit, right? So it just makes it really versatile, and that comes in handy too when you're stacking these two together. Here's the tone all the way off. Tone all the way up. Pretty stingy. I like it about right there. So I can go back and forth between, you know, a humbucker and my neck position single. Gain all the way off. So if we wanted to hit the amp harder, we can turn up the volume. So that's kind of cool. I'll roll the gain up to noon. Gain all the way up. So to me, that's kind of the typical gain range. There's maybe a little bit more there, but to me, in like a you know, a BB circuit, that's pretty typical amount of gain. So I've explained the tone, gain, volume. Let's go to the Klon side and let you check that out. I'm going to start with it in the germanium, and then we'll roll towards the silicon and let you guys hear that. So I'm going to keep the gain where it is right now and just roll all the way over. So we're starting on the germanium. Now I'll roll all the way the other way. There's a little bit more sub-low there. The clipping is a little bit different. I know a lot of guys really prefer, you know, the magical ones, the germanium, but for me it's like, you know, I actually like the silicon's better, but it's to each his own. Nice thing is you can blend them. You know, you can kind of morph between the two. About right there sounds cool. You know, and it might be best to have, you know, headphones on to check that out. But, especially if I turn the volume back on. That's a really nice feature, just to be able to choose between the two, but not just throw a switch, actually kind of morph. I thought that was cool. Let's go ahead and shut the gain all the way off. Same thing, I can crank volume and maybe tone and have it be more of a clean boost. So that's kind of cool. Lots of push there from the volume. Let me turn the gain up now. Gain halfway. Gain all the way up. So it sounds like a Klon circuit to me. It has a little bit of that kind of nasally thing, but that's part of that style circuit. Obviously, if you turn the tone down a bit, bring the volume up, and especially if you go over towards the SI side, can sound pretty big. Less nasally as you start cranking the tone. That's just how that circuit sounds. Okay, so last but not least, let's start combining these. Like right now, the direction, because you have a direction switch. Right now, it's the BB into the K circuit. So let's just start with the BB. And maybe since that's hitting the Klon circuit, I'll turn the gain down. Maybe about right there. And let's see how it sounds when we turn on the Klon with it. So there's quite a bit of saturation there with both of those circuits being, you know, clipping at the same time. So you saw me immediately turn the gains down and just kind of manipulate the volumes. Let's just reverse direction and see what happens. So right now it's BB into the K. I'm going to go the other way now. It'll be the Klon into the BB, right? The way I've got it dialed right now, that's pretty subtle, but what I am hearing is more low end going the other direction and less like mids. Like I can hear a mid there. I like that direction a little bit better, but it's subtle because of the way I have it dialed. But, you know, depending on what you do with it, those directions will be more or less extreme. So even the way that's dialed, it rolls off nicely. So, I mean, I could get into what everything is going to do if you turn things up or down, but that's more from just an experimental perspective. When you guys get one of these in your hands, you're going to dial it, you know, because you can turn, you know, the K volume up, the B volume up. You can try different settings within the tone on each side, and then, you know, rolling the clean in and out and changing, you know, the clipping on the K side. There's all kinds of things you can do, but the two combined together work really well. Now, why is this Imperium pedal here? Basically, to, you know, it was something Emilio actually asked me to do, and I'm in agreement. In this case, if you have, you know, and you can route this however you want, but if you've got this pedal and this pedal, you've kind of got the four, to me, kind of iconic kind of amp or pedal emulated, in this case, amp tones. So you got a blues breaker, you got a clon, you got a dumble, and you got a screamer. Basically everything right in front of you. So I haven't dialed this yet, but you know, this is what you'll get. So you've got your BB, clon, to a dumble type tone, to a screamer tone. And then any combination you want, like we could add the blues breaker to the screamer. Or maybe do the clon with the dumble. So yeah, the sky's the limit with as far as all your dirt settings, especially the Imperium's got quite a bit of versatility as well. I've already demoed this, so I don't want to go deep into that. But that is the Cornerstone Music Gear Colosseum. If you've got any other questions about it, definitely go to the website and check it out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you next time.